Alright everyone, I'm going to be working on my pickup truck today. This is a 1991 Ford F-150, and today I'm going to be trying to replace the front headlamp assemblies on both sides. They're really faded and probably original, and I actually broke this turn signal lens here when I ran into the snowblower before I reorganized my garage here. So I just wanted to replace those anyway. And the light they do emit is rather yellow. Just last night I also replaced these dash lights in the instrument cluster with LEDs, and they're warm white to retain the original look, so they look pretty good. But yeah, these are pretty yellow and faded, so I wanted to replace them anyway since I broke this. I'm going to try to back the truck out a little bit so I can have some more room to work on this in the garage. It's pretty hot out today, probably like 85 degrees or something, and I don't necessarily want to be in the direct sunlight. So I'll back this out a little bit, and maybe I'll try to fire it up and you guys can hear it run while it warms up for a little bit. So this is the XLT Lariat trim. I've got the 5-speed overdrive transmission. See, it still doesn't idle perfectly. It's still shaky at idle, I don't know why. Like, you can just look at the shift knob and see it shaking a little bit, and the RPM goes up and down a little bit too as it warms up. It's almost wanting to stall. I don't know. I still feel like this doesn't run quite right on startup at least. Not sure what's going on. But anyway, just let it warm up for a couple more minutes. Pull this out a little bit. Alright, so yeah, you can see how faded these are, as I said before. Now let's see if I can pop the hood. I don't know if I can do this one-handed and hold the camcorder. There we go. So yeah, she's still old, but for a 91 it's almost at 144,000 miles. It's 143.9 something. So anyway, I think first the front grille has to be taken off, and there's these big tab things where it clips in here. So I think you just get a flat bladed screwdriver and pry this out somehow. And then the bolts for the assemblies are behind this grill area in here. So you take bolts out from here and here. I think there's 3 on each side, and then 2 nuts on the inside. And the wiper washer fluid reservoir is in the way, and then the battery's in the way on the passenger side. And it's still pretty hot out here, even in the garage. So I need to get some water. Well, we're coming along on this. We got this plastic trim piece off. It's important to have some good tunes via 8-track. It's very important. We got Led Zeppelin, Seals and Crofts, Fleetwood Mac, Eagles, Bob Dylan, all the good stuff, Joe Walsh. So anyhow, this plastic trim piece had to come off so I can get the grill off, I think. There's a bunch of plastic little retainer clips. A lot of them kind of get broken, especially the ones up here. So I do have some of these door panel tools that I might be able to get the rest of these out with. Yeah, I've got a whole set of these. This one here is the most rigid. See, there's one shot off behind me. I don't even see where it went. So yeah, that's all the fun we're having right now. Maybe this is one of them. So yeah, see, I don't know why they have these little Phillips head looking screw things in the middle. Alright, well the grill's almost released. It's hard to reach in there and break those tabs loose. And part of this right here was already slightly cracked. And the whole bottom front part of this is cracked, and there's like a chip right there. I'm not even sure if that was already like that or if I cracked it when I was trying to get this out. But actually the weird thing is, I think I've almost got the right side released, but there's a little bolt right there in the top right to get this out, and I read something about that online. So I'll have to see if that comes out and what size it is. Alright, this bolt came out. That's a 7mm, or at least that's the metric size that fits. And let's see if this will come out now. I think some of these clips already refastened themselves, so I'll have to get at it with two hands again. Well, it's off, and that was quite a job, I must say. Hopefully none of these broke. But wow, that was hard. Oh my goodness, guys, that was not easy to get this one out. That little 8mm bolt right here has a fastener thing on the back side, and I think it broke loose or something, and it was stuck onto the bolt and spinning with it when I was trying to loosen that. So I kind of had to break this bottom part off of the old headlamp assembly here, and then I had to just look at it from above in front of the truck and grab onto this fastener piece around the sides with a vice grip and then loosen it, but that was not easy. It probably took a couple hours to even think to do that and to get it out. But I really didn't want to strip out the bolt or break anything other than what's being thrown away anyway, because this is all busted. So this one's free other than the two nuts on the inside over here in front of the battery. So I just got those two 11mm nuts to take out, and then this whole assembly should be free for the passenger side. But yeah, this isn't the easiest job so far, but as long as everything's actually working when I get it all back together, Lord willing, it'll be that much more rewarding since I work harder and not smarter. Alright, I made myself some food, but anyway, here's these are the brand new headlamp assemblies. Supposedly the assemblies for these 8th gen trucks from 87 to 91 are even more expensive than the 9th gen ones from 92 to 96. So these came from Amazon and were packaged really well. Apparently they're this Acon brand, or however you say it, but they're fully double boxed and really well packed. Okay, so here's just a quick look at the old versus the new. Pretty crazy. So these should look good and be nice and bright. Because again, like I said, the light coming out of these old ones was pretty yellow. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but these new ones have some protective plastic wrap over the lenses, so gotta remember to peel this off, and then I'm just gonna at least peel off some of the edges so when I put the trim back together this won't be difficult to remove or be caught on anything. So we'll go in with the new stuff. So basically the new ones just bolt in the same way the old ones came out, and then you put the grill back on and this trim piece. Also, I didn't mention this yet, but this little bracket piece here actually houses your studs coming in through these holes in here where the nuts go on. And at least on this side, when I was unbolting the assembly, this guy was wanting to fall back in behind there, so I grabbed it and pulled this out. This one may have fallen out over here too, I don't know. I might have to look for that. Alright guys, there's a few things I want to point out before the battery dies here, but at the very least for the turn signal indicators, you want to feed those on through the holes in here and actually attach these to your new assemblies before you bolt them in. Don't ask me how I know that, I found out the hard way. But the reason they're difficult to put back on is because they're kind of keyed, so to speak. They have these little tri-wing sort of tabs on there, and one of these is wider than the other two, meaning they only fit in the back of these one way. And you can see the cutout. I mean, it's the same old versus new, but you see how that groove on the right is bigger than the other two, so that's why they only go in one way. It's best to at least put these in first before you bolt the whole assembly on. And the headlight ones aren't too hard to get at, so I can do those later on. Sorry, one other thing I needed to mention is the backs of the new headlight assemblies have these black rings on them, and the old fittings don't seem to fit unless you take these off. I'm not sure what they included these for, but as you see, the old ones don't have anything left on the backs of them, so you have to take those pieces off, and then these gray parts here will fit on properly. Also, they package these pretty securely and plug the holes to keep anything from getting inside or condensation and whatnot. So there's a little sticker thing over here. You need to peel that off, and then they have packaging tape over this one. You need to peel all that off. I actually almost attempted to bolt this one without even doing that. And then I was wondering, like, why isn't the bulb going in? And there's a sticker there you need to peel off, that white circle. This side here was a little difficult to line the studs up with the holes. I mean the studs on the actual light. So I think this piece under here was bent or something, and I had to bend it a little bit downward, and it still looks a little messed up, but I mean, it's not at eye level at all, so I don't know if I'm going to be too worried about that. I just want to get this back together and hopefully have it all working. Alrighty, I think I've got everything bolted back in. I took the threaded part of this broken fastener and put it on behind here, and I was actually able to torque the bolt fully without it spinning behind there, so I'm happy with that. I don't think I'm going to be too worried about it because, again, it's fully torqued and properly on there. Everything else is all bolted up. I'm pretty sure I've got all the wiring connected properly. So now, oh, missed this one in here. But yeah, I think these main headlamp ones go in one way also. So the tab part up there just goes facing up at the top. And then it has to seat, the bulb assembly in there has to seat all the way into the plastic housing part, and then turn that gray ring to lock it in, and that's it. So yeah, then I just need to reconnect the battery and tighten it down, and then test it, and hopefully everything works, and then I can put the grill back on, because that was really difficult to remove, and the grill is held in by the plastic housing parts on the headlamp assembly, so the lights actually hold the grill. That's just how it is. Okay guys, everything's all bolted in. I reconnected the battery and I put the hazard lights on, and of course the headlights. Everything seems to work, thank goodness. So I got to put the front grille back in. It should just snap in with those 4 tabs, and then the little bolt up here in the upper right corner, and then we should be good. So that's pretty awesome that these work. This was honestly at least a 5-hour job. 5.5 hours. Oh my goodness, it's 7:45. in the evening, and I probably started this at least 3 p.m., maybe even a little after 2. So yeah, this is probably at least 5 hours, give or take. But I hope somebody found this useful. Again, I just got to pop the grill back in here, and then that trim piece up here with the fasteners. So I don't know how easy this is going to be, but happy everything's working so far. So yeah, of course it's absolutely effortless to pop the grill back in there. It's harder taking it out. I'm trying to avoid breaking some of the plastic. And actually, speaking of plastic, the last thing I have to do is peel this plastic wrap off of here, because even with these halogen bulbs, it could end up melting this for all I know. That's really nice, even as pricey as these were. There's one final thing I noticed regarding that little 7mm bolt for the grill. So there's a plastic fastener, which I think you have to take out of the old headlight and pop into this new assembly here, because there is no fastener in there. Well, I'm not even sure if I can put that bolt back in there. It's just a minor discrepancy between old versus new. Because here again is the old one, and it's got a square hole for this little fastener thing to go in, and the new one's got a round hole. So I don't know, the only way you might be able to put that bolt back in is if you have a small nut to fit on the other side, which I'm sure I don't have anything to fit properly, so might have to just go without it and not worry about that. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So I hope everyone likes the video and gives it a thumbs up. This is pretty agonizing, and I'm not a true mechanic by any means, but I'm just an aspiring do-it-yourselfer. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the views on the video, and take care.